guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be making candy pumpkin. This candy pumpkin is typically used for Dia de los Muertos, also known as Day of the Dead. It is a very Mexican tradition to put this on the ofrenda for our ancestors to come for Dia de los Muertos, which is Day of the Dead. This day is typically celebrated on the 1st and 2nd of November. I will leave you guys some pictures here of how my family puts the ofrenda out for our past relatives. I got this pumpkin candy recipe from my mom. I will leave you some pictures of how the ofrenda looks back in Mexico, where my mom is staying at right now, and I will also leave you some pictures of how here in the US I celebrate Dia de los Muertos, putting out my ofrenda. We're gonna start off this pumpkin candy with the pumpkin. This is not your typical pumpkin that you would use for Halloween. As you can see, this one has more of a hard shell. It's not too much of a round orange pumpkin. I got this pumpkin at a Mexican store. This is only half of a pumpkin. When I went into the store, this pumpkin was huge. So I asked the man that was setting up the vegetables if they could cut this for me and just sell me half. So this is what they did. This is how it looks from the inside. I have seen other people use regular pumpkins that you can find like at Walmart. Those would work as well, but if you want the actual Mexican tradition pumpkin candy, this is what you want to use. This right here is 9 pounds, and this is how it looks from the outside. As you can see, it's not your typical pumpkin that you would carve for Halloween. When I was at the store, I also saw other pumpkins that were this kind of pumpkins, but they didn't have the green. So if you can't find the pumpkin that necessarily has the green and this like beige color, it's okay as long as it looks similar to this. I will leave the name of this specific pumpkin right here so you can Google it or go to your nearest Mexican store and search for that pumpkin. For this pumpkin, you also want to wash it because as you can see, it has dirt on it, and since we're going to be using the shell, we want the shell to be clean. So let's rinse this out and we're going to come back with the next process. For Dia de los Muertos, it is very tradition for Mexicans to use this kind of flour. I don't know the name of this flour in English, but I know in Spanish this is called cempasúchil. This is the flour of the dead. This is what guides our relatives to the ofrenda. So I'm going to be putting this in my ofrenda as well. We're also going to use piloncillo. I found this piloncillo at Walmart at the Hispanic aisle. As you can see, it says brown sugar. Piloncillo, 100% of cane sugar. Again, you can find this at any Hispanic store. We are also going to need 2 cinnamon sticks, and we're going to use water. This recipe is made with 3 simple ingredients. Very easy, very simple, so let's begin with the process. Okay, so as you can see, our pumpkin is already washed. Since we're going to be using the shell, the skin of the pumpkin, we also want to wash it, so that is very important so none of the dirt gets to your recipe. We're going to start off by removing everything from the inside. When I have tried other people's pumpkin candy, which by the way in Mexico this is called Dulce de Calabaza, this pumpkin candy can also be done with everything that's already inside. You would just need to cut it into smaller pieces, but I am going to remove everything from the inside. Like I said, you can do it either way. Removing it or leaving it, either way would work fine. Okay, so let's remove half, that way we're in between to where we remove everything from the inside, but not necessarily everything because there are some little hairs in there still. From here, we're going to remove this part. This is trash. We're going to cut it down the middle. Into thirds. You want to make sure you're careful when you're cutting it because you can cut yourself. And then this, we're going to cut it into 4s. So we want about this big of a piece. And like I said, we're going to leave it with the skin. Here I have 6 cups of water. We're going to add our piloncillo next. If you can't find piloncillo, don't worry. You can also use regular brown sugar. Okay, so after we have our piloncillo here, you can see that it's already starting to melt. We're going to add our canela, cinnamon sticks, and we're going to add our pumpkin straight up like that. Since I'm seeing that it's a lot of pumpkin for 6 cups of water, I'm gonna add 2 more cups of water, making it a total of 8 cups. So our 8 cups of water comes about halfway. As you can see, we can see the water right there. It's up to you about how much water you want. The more water you use, the more liquidy it's gonna be. We're gonna put this in the stove on medium to low heat, and then we're gonna come back and check it here in a minute. If you also wanna use the pumpkin seeds, you can. Just take all the hairs out and make sure it's just the seeds that remain. Rinse them out, put them in a little bit of water, and then we're gonna add about 2 tablespoons of salt. Maybe 3. We're gonna mix this. Let them sit here for about 5 minutes, and then we're gonna drain the water. Let them air dry for a couple weeks, and you can eat the seeds by themselves as well. If you wanna see the process of how the seeds dry, follow me on my Instagram page. I'm gonna leave a link down below, and I'm gonna be posting a week by week on how they dry. Okay, so this has been boiling here for about 40 minutes. We're gonna go ahead and check it now. As you can see, the pumpkin released some of its water. I did not add any more water to this. What we're gonna do is we're gonna cover the pumpkin with water. And the pieces that are underneath, we're gonna put them on top. With the fork, we're gonna check the pumpkins if they're already ready. If your fork slides really easily, that means it's ready. For example, this one that was stuck all the way at the bottom. This one's more cooked and more softer. This one that was one of the ones that were on top. Same thing, we're gonna poke it. If it comes really easily, that means it's ready. I am gonna leave it here boiling for another 10 minutes. After this, we're gonna go ahead and come back and check. But just because I want my pumpkin to be a little bit softer, but if you don't want your pumpkin to be that soft, this is already good. You can turn it off at this time. But I'm gonna leave it here for another 10 minutes. Okay guys, so I left this boiling here for another 10 minutes. We're gonna go ahead and check it out at this time. As you can see, the pumpkin released even more of that water. This water by itself, it is really good. I just tried it and it's the bomb.com. Literally this by itself is just really, really good. It's literally just cinnamon, sugar, and pumpkin in here. It is delicious. We're gonna go ahead and test with the knife. Make sure all of our pieces are cooked. This is ready. We're gonna go ahead and turn it off. I hope you guys enjoyed today's recipe. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, like and subscribe. Don't forget to comment down below what other recipes you would like me to make, and I'll see you on the next time. Bye.